Good evening and welcome to Millennium Stage. And now, please give a warm welcome to So Percussion.
Once upon a time, once upon a time, once upon a time, a time, once upon a time, once upon a time, once upon a time, once upon a time, a time, once upon a time, upon a time, upon a time, a time upon a time, upon a time upon a world, 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 once upon a time, upon a time, a time upon a time, a time, once upon a time,
the world was
round, and you, and it, and you could go on it, you could go, and you could go on it, and you could go on it, you could go and you, and it, and you and it, you could go and you could go on it, you and it, you could go on it, and you and it, you could go on it, you could go around and around and around, 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 around and around,
could and a could. And a could and a could
once upon a time,
and a
time,
could
time, once upon a time,
and a could
upon a time, a time upon a time,
and a
could, upon a time upon it, 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 upon a time upon a world. Once upon a time, the world was round, and you, and it, and you could go on it, you could go, you could go, you could go, you could go,
the world
you could go,
was
you
round.
could go,
Could and a
go,
and a
around
could.
and around and around,
Could and a could
around and around,
and a
around
and
and
a could
around
and a could. The
around
world
and
was
around.
round.
Yay. How's everybody doing? Yeah, we good? Yay. We're looking for positive energy. We're really pumped. We've been here all day playing a lot of different music because we're going to be playing a show on Sunday. We're very excited about that. I think we're playing up in an atrium space, which will be really beautiful on the DC series, whatever that, what's that one called? Something current. Yes, thank you, Direct Current. We got it. But we're So Percussion. We're excited to be on this stage today and share with you guys some what we're calling living room music. That first piece was by John Cage and was called Living Room Music. And so we put together a whole series of music that's going to take place just around this little table. And we include a piano in our living room, as many of you do, I'm sure, as well. When I said we're looking for positive energy, we have a tradition that we started many years ago. And we've told ourselves we're going to do this tradition until it doesn't work, but I can feel that it's going to work today because I feel good energy in the room. Let's all close our eyes, and on the count of 3, this is a big space, so it's going to have to be loud. Let's fill the space with a big, joyous whoop. 1, 2, 3. Woo! We did it. Thank you. All right, we're going to move on to, I guess in some ways, if I imagine most of you guys, many of you guys have never seen what we do. This is a great introduction to So Percussion. John Cage is a kind of wild character who wrote music back in the 30s and 40s, and oftentimes wrote for things that he just found around, kind of found sound percussion is what we call it. And so he's kind of the beginnings of our tradition. But mostly what we do is make new pieces happen and commission new things. So the next piece we're going to play is a new piece by a composer named Viet Cuong, and it's for these series of pitched wine glasses filled with water, and therefore it's called Water, Wine, Brandy, and Brine. thank you all very much. I know we're excited to be playing because me and Eric have never smashed our wine glasses enough together that we made a splash. I think that's why it's DC did that to us. We're gonna do, we have 2 more pieces to play on our program, and the next one is also something new. Like I said, that's mostly what we do, and we're very pumped that we're based up in Brooklyn, New York, but we love coming down to DC. And like I said, we're playing on Sunday again in the what's it called, Direct Current series. And Mason Bates programmed an awesome program. We're going to play some Steve Reich music, which we love. And we're also going to do a lot of collaborations. Nathaniel Stuckey, who may be in the house right now, wrote an awesome piece that we're going to play. That's very much like this, like sounds that he's kind of found in a dump, actually. It's called Junkestra, so kind of instruments that he's found sounds that makes a kind of really beautiful gamelan. But also, like I said, mostly what we do is new pieces. And we're going to be back in the concert hall in April with an amazing soprano named Dawn Upshaw, who's been an idol of ours for a long time. And we're doing a new piece by the composer you're about to hear right now, Caroline Shaw. Caroline is a wonderful singer and a violinist. She's a great performer, an amazing composer. We've had a chance to know her for a long time in many ways, as a friend and also, I guess, as a student, which is strange to say, because she, among other things, she's the youngest person ever to win the Pulitzer Prize, is one of her kind of like, that's the, like, if you were gonna, that's the Wikipedia first line. You know, there's many other lines, like she likes to play flower pots during thunderstorms, and she likes to have an outdoor garden on her fire escape. But the Pulitzer Prize is a heavy one. So anyway, we're fortunate to have worked with her in many ways, and this piece that she wrote for us here, she wrote a long time ago when she was still a student, and it is called Taxidermy. And the full name of the piece, which may help you appreciate it more, is So You Say You're Into Taxidermy.
The pattern.
The pattern.
Of the
Detail of.
Of the detail of the pattern.
Detail of the detail of the pattern.
The detail.
The pattern.
The detail is the detail.
The detail of the pattern.
Pattern of the detail.
Pattern of the
The
detail.
detail of the pattern.
Pattern of the detail.
The pattern of the
Pattern
pattern.
of the detail.
The detail is the pattern.
Detail of the pattern.
The pattern of the pattern.
Pattern of the detail.
The detail is the pattern.
The detail of the pattern.
Pattern of the pattern.
Pattern of the detail.
The detail is the
Detail
pattern.
of the pattern.
The pattern of the
Pattern
pattern.
of the detail of.
The detail is the pattern.
The detail of the pattern is movement. 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 The detail of the pattern is movement.
Detail of the pattern is movement.
The detail of the pattern is movement.
The detail of the pattern is
The
movement.
detail of the pattern is movement.
Detail of the pattern is movement.
The detail of the pattern is movement.
Detail of the pattern is movement.
The detail of the pattern is movement.
Detail of the pattern is
The detail of the pattern is movement.
The detail of the pattern is
The
movement.
detail of the pattern is movement.
The detail of the pattern is
The
movement.
detail of the pattern is movement.
The detail of the pattern is movement. The detail of the pattern is movement.
Thank you. Something in me felt like the sound of laughter at the end of that piece was how we should end that piece all the time. It felt just somehow perfect. And it feels to me, and somehow it leads to this last piece too, that we started with John Cage and we're going to end with John Cage because John Cage kind of provided the frame for what we do. And I may have explained that a little bit up front, but allow me to elaborate. So the first piece was called Living Room Music, and if you could set yourself, like imagine going to see a concert in the Opera House or in the concert hall here back in like 1941, and you show up to see a classical music concert, and I think there may be a certain expectation of what that's going to be. That still could be still the case now, right? But if you walk in and you imagine that concert hall stage was set up just as a living room with like a couch and a coffee table and a lamp, and 4 musicians came out and just made sounds for what they found in that living room, be seen as kind of wild, right? And so that's the guy that started our tradition. String quartets have Haydn, a wild guy back from the 1700s who started their tradition. We have John Cage, and so it kind of allowed for pieces for flower pots to be used, pieces for clinking of wine glasses. All these sounds kind of came into what we do, and that also included back in this period of the 40s that he was writing was a kind of exciting new technology of the phonograph. Right, of like the record player. And so he started to write pieces where not only would he take things like a piano and things like these tin cans over here, but he would take other musics that you could hear on the radio or you could hear on a record player and start to take those music and throw them into what he was doing, which also was pretty wild at the time. I don't know, maybe you'll think it's still wild now. But I think a lot has happened since the 40s, but he still kind of found a way to always be, I think, on the cutting edge of what was moving forward. Some of you guys may know him as the crazy guy who in the 50s wrote a piece that has no sound. Chew on that for a second. It was called 4 minutes and 33 seconds. He did a lot of different things in his life, and early on he wrote for a lot for percussion, so he's a real kind of special composer for us. So we're going to end the show today with sounds that are all around you, so I hope there'll be more laughing. Maybe another whoop will fill the air. But there'll definitely be some sounds coming from Josh's laptop that we've never heard before. Some, I don't know what he's going to play today. He always kind of mixes it up. We did the show in New York to celebrate a Mozart festival, and all the sounds were Mozart symphonies. So we'll see where he goes with it today. The piece is from the early 40s. If I knew the exact date, I would tell you, but you could probably find it somewhere. 1942 came to me. And it's for a... It came to me right before Adam told me. I was like 1942, and then Adam was like 1942. Okay, I'll stop talking at you. This is for the piano, Josh on the laptop, and me and Eric doing the cans and gong section over here. Thank you guys very much for spending the evening with us. This is the last piece on the show. It's called Credo and Us.
Thank you.